Hi, we are back. Welcome back to BookNook, your destination for great reading from a selection of award-winning books, classics and bestsellers. BookNook is back this fortnight and will be back every fortnight with a book review to help make a considered reading choice. I'm Radhika, but you can call me Radhi, and with me is my co-host.
Hi, my name is Yaz. Radhika, what's this with this, you can call me Radhi business? You sound like Paul Simon from Graceland.
Yes, I do.
If you'll be my bodyguard, I can be your long lost pal. I can call you Radhi. No, stop. Horrible. We're tone deaf, we can't sing, and we can't even rhyme. So let's get back to the business of the review. In the last episode, we reviewed Wish You Were Here by Jodi Picoult, and this week we are here to check out a new thriller.
Ooh, The Replacement Wife, the much-awaited second book from the author of the highly acclaimed Pretty Little Wife by Darby Kane.
Darby Kane seems to be only writing about wives, but it's her pseudonym, right?
It is.
Her real name is Helen Kate DeMont. She's a former trial attorney now living in California. And Pretty Little Wife, her debut novel, was highly acclaimed, and Radhi, it became a #1 international bestseller.
Wow. And that was exactly why we read the book with a lot of expectation.
Yes. The premise of the novel is quite fascinating. Josh is a man with a checkered romantic history. In his past is one dead wife and a fiancé who just upped and left without a trace. And that's all we know of at this moment.
I know what you mean. And there's this new woman in his life, a fact that he springs upon his brother and his sister-in-law in the most casual and cursory manner.
Yes. And at the risk of sounding a little, politically incorrect, Josh seems to be a bit of a chick magnet. And he has no problems in attracting the ladies. But Radhi, on a more serious note, this is the point from which the book takes off, with Eliza, his sister-in-law, starting to wonder about Josh and his past. Eliza and Josh have a minor confrontation over this, with Harris, Eliza's husband and Josh's brother, trying to maintain the peace.
So far, so good. Alyssa begins to worry for the safety of Rachel, the new girlfriend, and on a visit to Josh's house, she finds a laptop belonging to Abby, the missing fiancé. This sets off alarm bells in her mind.
Ding! And her worst fears seem to be confirmed when, after getting access to the laptop, she finds some chats between Abby and Concerned, an anonymous well-wisher.
Okay.
From the chats between Abby and Concerned, Eliza concludes that Josh was a threat to Abby and could have more to do with her disappearance than he was letting on. However, please remember, Eliza is on medication, recovering from a traumatic experience in the not-so-distant past, and we don't know whether she's reading too much into the situation.
Here's an excellent opportunity for the writer to keep the reader on tenterhooks. Is there more to Josh than meets the eye? Is Alyssa allowing the shadow of her trauma to cloud her judgment?
Yes, the stage could be set for a great cat and mouse game, which begins with Eliza suspecting Josh of being involved in the death of his first wife and the disappearance of his fiancée.
And the situation gets murkier when Alyssa discovers that Josh has even more skeletons in his cupboard. Okay, skeletons which Harris, her husband, also kept hidden from her. This drives her to the edge of panic and she doesn't know whom to trust.
I would be in the same situation, Radhi, quite honestly. And as Sherlock Holmes would say, the game is afoot. Eliza finds an unlikely ally in the form of Shelby, an investigator digging into an incident from Eliza's past.
On the other hand, Josh is gaslighting Alyssa at every opportunity, and he ropes in Rachel as well as an ally to make her feel unsteady and unsure.
The same stage sets for a thrilling read.
But alas, the plot begins to come apart immediately.
Due in no small part, Radhi, to the way the characters are sketched out, Josh is almost instantly dislikable. Eliza is high-strung, prone to exaggerated responses. Rachel is very inconsistent. And Harris, a vet by profession, really has the personality of a poodle.
Poodle? I don't like poodles, and that's exactly my feeling towards Harris.
Radhika, I also considered lamb, but decided to stick to poodle. Only Nathan the kid seems normal with his ass, tantrums and moods.
Yeah. Another character, Meredith, is randomly thrown into the mix. A lady who appears to be stalking Alyssa. She just kind of walks into the story and walks out. I mean, there's no reason why she appeared in the first place.
Exactly. The lady vanishes. Quite frankly, Eliza's moments of self-doubt elicit sympathy only the first few times. After some time, you find yourself wanting to shake her up and wake her up to stop that repetitive drone.
Yeah, it does get a bit much. And the premise that Alyssa is experiencing PTSD 1 year after being involved in a violent incident doesn't have much legs to stand on, I feel.
Forget legs, it doesn't even have crutches to stand on, because the intensity of trauma projected by Eliza in the story would have been legitimate had there been a close bond between her and the dead collie. The incident as is described in the book should not have invoked the level of guilt that it does in her.
I totally agree with you.
The writing attempts to try and reflect Eliza's disturbed state of mind. Unfortunately, Radhi, all it manages to do is come across as high-strung and hyperbolic.
I agree, once again. And look at this sentence, okay? Not 3 seconds later, a sharp knock at the front door has her jackknifing into a sitting position. Or, Alyssa's scream bounced off the wall. She slammed her back against the door and tried to get leverage, but the bottom of her heel slipped on the hardwood floor.
High drama that remains just that, and quite honestly never rises above mediocrity.
And as we head towards the climax, we were hoping that the book would be able to provide at least a shocker of an ending.
Yes, Radhi, it certainly could have, had Darby Kane managed to tie up everything neatly.
Instead, we have the last vestige of logic being abandoned, leaving me as a reader wondering what the fuss was all about.
So what we have at the end is a thriller that does not quite thrill.
Yes, and this is a genre of writing that has had some exceptional plots and characters. I'm talking about Gone Girl.
Gone Girl was fantastic. Or even, Radhi, The Girl on a Train, a book that blew you away with its unexpected twists.
Yeah, so to sum up, The Replacement Wife?
A very weak plot.
Ordinary writing?
Very, very mundane characters.
And above all, a protagonist who merits no sympathy from the reader.
Yes, Radhi. All in all, I would say one very disappointing read.
Like most men who promise a lot and then don't deliver.
What?
Okay, I'm going to give The Replacement Wife just 1 star.
No, where did that come from, Radhi? What? I don't think you met the right man, but we can take this offline. Seriously, we don't have to bore the audience with it. Anyway, back to rating the book. I'm going to be a little kinder than you are and give it 2 stars.
So the blended rating would be?
1.5 stars.
Okay. The Replacement Wife is published by William Morrow and is available in hardcover, paperback and Kindle edition.
Yeah, and if you're rich and want to splurge your money, hardcover is available for 1,867 rupees, paperback is 839, and the Kindle edition for 398.
So that's all for tonight. We'll be back in 15 days with a review of Find Me by Alistair Burke.
Ooh, another thriller. Good stuff. If you're enjoying BookNook, please like and subscribe to our channel for more updates on good reading.
And remember to like and subscribe both. See you later.
Stay safe.
Bye.
Bye-bye.